everyone, to Santel's series of fireside chats with CDOs, data leaders, key influencers, and thought leaders. I'm your host, Robert Lutton, Vice President, Santel Consultants. And Santel Consultants is a diamond partner of Quest Software, and he's been selling and supporting Erwin for over the past 30 years. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing Sue Lane, who is the Chief Field Technology Officer for Erwin DI at Quest Software. I understand, Sue, that you're not only the voice of the client for clients, but also for partners, and you are a thought leader yourself. So welcome to our interview.
Thank you, Robert. Really nice to be here today.
It's a pleasure, and I know that you're down there in the sweltering heat, and we're doing these fireside chats. So thank you for working with us on this. We're specifically going to talk about today about the Erwin data intelligence solution, and specifically a key piece of that, which is the data marketplace. So kicking right off the bat and starting it, diving right in, we are in a fascinating era of data accessibility, and intelligence is critical for business transformation.
Yeah.
In this rapidly evolving landscape, I wonder if you might be able to start by explaining the business problem that Erwin Data Marketplace aims to solve.
Certainly. It's exciting times right now, and the marketplace is making some really large impacts on new ways of delivering catalogs and data intelligence. The main problem that it solves is delivering reliable data, delivering reliable, trusted data, and making it accessible to everybody. So self-serving, democratization across the organization, those are the problems that we're trying to solve. And a little bit from the vendor's perspective, the other problem that we're trying to solve is that, catalogs haven't been the easiest to implement. They never really have been. So end user adoption is key to success. So we really view everything that we do from a product perspective to have an impact, to make it a lot easier for end users to govern their data, to produce that reliable data, and just finding new ways to serve that up.
And I love the fact that Quest is really trying to pin down that reliable, trusted data, which is a key aspect of many of our clients that we deal with. Uh, I understand that data literacy and data accessibility are often mentioned as crucial benefits of data marketplaces. How does Erwin's data marketplace enhance these aspects for organizations?
Yeah, another great question. And honestly, I have seen the data marketplace change cultures within the organization. So there's a shift not in just how we support it, but how clients roll out data catalogs, and the marketplace is at the forefront of that. So we see the culture changing in new ways by clients starting to really focus on creating data champions within the organization.
Yeah.
And harnessing and empowering those data champions with a solution that shows all their savvy dataness, if you will. They have a lot of it's a safe place. It's a safe place that you can come and get really good, governed, trusted data. We have this 7 steps to maturity, which I know Sandhill knows all about. So when you have these 7 certification steps to the data itself, you're able to produce a spot where end users can come and go fishing for that really good data. And what that delivers is peace of mind. So you can start really working on the things that you want to work on and have that peace of mind that things are governed, that things are described, that data has been controlled. So you have business controls around that data, and you can start focusing on your AI model, focusing on getting the results and the outcomes that you're looking for without having to go back and do so many data forensics. And the marketplace serves it up in some really new and fun ways, which I know we're going to get to here in a little bit as well.
Well, good timing, because we've talked about the kind of business problem that data marketplaces solve in general. We talked about the the self-service and data democratization that it can deliver, peace of mind, things like that. It might be a good time to talk maybe a little bit about the key features that the Erwin data marketplace brings and makes it stand out from perhaps other data market solutions. Any thoughts on that?
Yes. So we look at the data marketplace. Some of our clients actually call it a supermarket, as a front end to the catalog. So it was so impactful. End users are gravitating towards the marketplace just because the look and feel and capabilities are familiar to them. So it's very Amazon like when you're going to shop for data sets and shop for data products. You get a shopping cart, you start to explore those data sets and understand immediately, do I have any PI information to it? Is it gold, silver, or platinum data sets and products, which I know we're going to talk about as well.
Sure.
And then you can compare data sets. So you can put data sets up side by side and see where they're the same, see where they're different, see what the intent of that data set was supposed to be, or that new AI model, what the intent of it, what insights you're trying to achieve, and what insights you have achieved. The other aspects that make the marketplace stand out a little bit differently from other data marketplaces is that there's a new value scoring mechanism. So we're looking at how well governed the data is, we're looking at how well liked the data is, and then we're combining it with the profiling of the data itself to come up with a data score for that data set. End users like that because it's collaborative and it has all this transparency into how good that data set actually is. And then it's classified into gold, silver, and platinum. The other unique feature is that it's not just certifying and shopping and sharing the data, but it's observing the data on a regular basis too. So in the new world now of AI, there's always going to be bias, there's going to be hallucinations, and it's about keeping that data set on track with what it's purposed for.
There's also, obviously we're a partner to Quest, and so we know a little bit about the Erwin Data Intelligence solution. But I also understand that there's support for data products built into the data marketplace. I wonder if you might be able to share a little bit more about what that is, because people have different understandings of what a data product is and how Erwin DI would support it.
Yes. So from our perspective, a data product it's a container. It's a container of one or many internal or external data sets. It's a container of reports that will meet the need of what the business is asking for. It could be an AI model. It could be a data model. So it's everything that's combined into an actual package of which we call a product. And there's a process behind it. So there's a workflow process that actually starts in our data modeling technology where you're creating that blueprint of what should this new product look like. And then we bring it into the catalog to find all the inventory, the data for that, all those data assets for that new product. We create it inside of the marketplace. So you're actually registering that data product. And then we're putting all that great curation around it. So what rules, what business policies do I need to be aware of? Is it flagged and tagged? And then once we feel really good about that product, you can shop and share it amongst your other team members so that different pockets of the organization aren't redundantly creating their own products and they can reuse what's already out there.
And I think you very succinctly covered the 7 steps of the process that goes into from model to observe and data and shop your data sets. So thank you for that. Uh,
Mhm.
so as Irwin Data Marketplace, becomes more commonplace in our customers, there's going to be questions about governance and compliance, particularly with the GDPR over that has been spreading all over Europe, and the CCPA and the other AI regulations that are coming into the Americas, USA, and North America. From your point of view, how has Erwin DI sort of kept change with the AI governance side of the equation?
Right. So, well, starting with the traditional GDPR and privacy information, we work on flagging and tagging that data, so you always have transparency into where do we have PI information or regulatory type of information. It also does data classification. So if you want to go through that quality component and classify the data based off of what you're seeing out there in the tables and columns today, it will recommend some data classification. And then just the general forensics of starting with a report and following it all the way back to the source of the information and knowing exactly what happens to the data at every step. Then you're audit ready. So if somebody comes in to audit, you're completely audit ready. But those are very traditional use cases, and the folks that have done that already are a step further with their AI governance. And we've teed off of all that great foundational aspect of what you call defensive or at-risk type managing of your data. And now we're on that value side of the house, and it is changing fast and furiously. And I'll start even with the personas. So the personas are definitely changing. There's a lot more data quality analysts involved now. So having all that data quality best practices built into the solution is really helping from an AI governance perspective. Data observers. So there's actually personas that are called data observers now that are watching. It takes a good 3 months to watch an AI model before you put it in production. Most experts say that you should take 3 months. And what are you doing? You're observing that AI model for 3 months, making sure that you understand any anomalies that might be detected, making sure that you know when it goes outside of the threshold of integrity for that AI model, ensuring that you know when it just falls out of the guidelines of maybe what gender, what geography, what age classification you have. So when you see spikes like that, you want to quickly either accept or reject that. And you can do that inside of the catalog, inside of that data quality component. You're actually help training the data while you're waiting for it to go into production. So those are some pretty major changes from where we've been from a use case perspective. And I would also say that the catalogs and the marketplace, it needs to be more actionable. So it should be doing things like making recommendations about the data, catching those data issues, removing bad data, if you will, and then, of course, giving you a place to review any anomalies very quickly and accept or reject them. So that makes it a lot more actionable. And then the last thing that I would say that's super important right now is the inputs and the outputs. Sure. Knowing exactly what's going into that AI model and what's coming out, what you expect to come out of that AI model, and managing it from start to finish, putting the guardrails around the AI model so that everybody is aware of what you're trying to do and when it goes awry.
Well, there's certainly a lot in the data marketplaces coming out. When we start to look at the data sets and organizations start to compare data sets and obviously leverage the AI models, that's a pretty unique feature within the Erwin Data Intelligence solution. Could you maybe explain how this functionality works in a data marketplace? And you just touched upon it, but I'd like to, I think our listeners would like to hear more about the benefits that it offers to these personas that you just mentioned.
Yeah. So being able to, so what do you do first? It's interesting because if you start creating an AI model, that you're not going to just deliver those scientists or whoever's doing the creation of that AI model a database. You're not going to give them the Snowflake database. You're going to give them a data model, probably, so that you will quickly understand the modeling aspects, and you're going to start to do your comparison there, right? You're going to start to understand exactly how the data is modeled in different areas of the business or the different domains. And then when you bring those domain types into the marketplace, then you're starting to compare how the data is classified by domain. So you're really getting to know the data a lot better in the context that you're trying to use it with. When you couple that with doing a comparison feature and seeing the data side by side, you're going to know quickly when it's used, how it's used, and what context it's being used in. And it's going to help you select the right data so much easier than we have in the past.
And so, from the persona point of view, the benefits that you see the data scientists, the data observability roles. By the way, that's a job that I'd probably like in my next life to be a data observability person. But so what are the benefits that you see that these users can walk away with? You talked about the value add and the actionable benefits. I wonder if you can maybe expand upon that just a little.
Yeah. Um, so it's going to really enlighten them as to not only what data to use, but is the data helping them? Is the data getting better or is it getting worse? It's so hard right now inside of the organization for the different silos to even get access to good, clean data. Um, Another aspect that I haven't talked about yet is that you're also looking at third party data in here.
Right.
So you can compare your internal data to your third party data. You can re-shop the third party data that you already purchased once, so you're only purchasing it once. But it's going to expand the scope of what they can use for their AI models, of what they can use for their analytical questions that they're trying to answer. So it's going to broaden the data that's being used and for each one of their use cases.
I know that in the world that we live in, Databricks and Snowflake are key platforms, and keeping track of the different versions and the training of the data sets is critical. I believe that Erwin DI handles that. I wonder if you can maybe talk to how it handles that, and is there any kind of relationship that that Quest has with these types of organizations, and you can expand upon in that area.
Yeah, we have partnerships, very key partnerships with Databricks and Snowflake today. In fact, when you're out on the Databricks in their environment, you can download the data modeling technology right from there. So you can use Erwin as a data modeling model while you're in the Databricks environment. The other thing that we're doing is we are bringing in the AI code from Databricks and from Snowflake into the marketplace itself so that you can shop for the AI model if you want to. But most of all, you're governing that model. So when you're online and you're looking at the data that's feeding that AI model, you're observing it for data drift on a regular basis.
Right.
It's been proven that when data starts to drift, you can get a quality impact within a week later from that data starting to drift. So we're alerting the folks to data drift. Um, and with you can also open up the notebook right from the marketplace itself. So the Databricks notebook and see exactly how it's been coded. And then the surrounding guardrails, business controls around that AI model. So we have, Erwin has a feature called a mind map. And the
Right.
mind map, yep, gives you that AI model and a 360 view of exactly what controls, what SLAs need to be adhered to, and where exactly the data is being sourced from.
Again, a lot of key features that organizations are looking for. Uh, So at the beginning, we mentioned that you're a field chief field technology officer, so you get to interact with clients that are using this technology. From your perspective, what have you seen as some of the main challenges that organizations face when they're implementing a data marketplace And maybe you can then conjure that with how you believe that Erwin Data Marketplace can overcome these challenges.
Well, it's people, process, and technology, right?
Where have I heard that before?
It always comes back to people, process, and technology.
Yeah.
And the marketplace offers more on the process side of the house than the people side of the
Right.
house.
Yeah.
I think we said earlier on the number one challenge is end user adoption. And so if we can make it a familiar, comfortable way that everybody can come into one spot to shop for data, it's an easy concept to get. You know, we used to have enterprise metadata repositories and we used to have data catalogs, and
Sure.
that was more meant for the technical folks of the organization. And today, I don't think there is a difference anymore between business and technical folks. I think that you have to understand the business, even if you're in the technical side of the house. So to be able to have a marketplace that makes sense for everyone and isn't just suited for a technical person is really what's opening a lot of doors from a technology perspective to embed people and process into the game now. We always talk about the marketplace bridges the gap between data and the real world. And I do believe it's doing that. I do believe that it's bridging that gap where you only had to, if you understood SQL, if you understood a data model or how to architect and design data, that they're the most smartest when it comes to data. In the new world of AI, it's not about who can code AI the best. It's about where to apply AI the best, how to apply AI, how to answer the right questions with AI. So it's really, really changing how we're operating throughout the data management lifecycle.
And it's good to see how how the Erwin DI and the data marketplace is making uh, shifts in that and those client challenges. I did want to kind of come back and say that, you know, in some of the research we'll be doing, that there is some examples of data marketplaces that cause proliferation and duplication of data. In those cases, what would you say to counter those situations?
Yeah, I would say that a good marketplace isn't going to cause redundancy. It's going to help reduce the redundancy from a data perspective. So, being able to say, hey, before you register that data, you have something that's very similar over here.
Right.
Are you sure you want to register that data? And being able to identify quickly where you have a lot of redundancy just in the metadata is going to give you a heads up too on that proliferation.
And obviously, because the data is governed, you're therefore introducing the governance factor into the data marketplace. Um,
Absolutely.
you talked a little bit earlier about scoring, and
Mm.
scoring is an intriguing concept. I wonder if maybe you could expand upon how the Irwin data marketplace utilizes the automated data scoring values and its impact upon the data quality and usability.
Right. Okay. So first off, it's not something that the end user just sets, right?
Right.
There's an algorithm that's involved and it's based off of the likes. So we have a 5-star rating. So how well liked is the data? What is the profiling result of that data set using the data profiling? And then finally, how complete is the data? So how well governed is that data set? And the client decides how much weight to put on each one of those aspects.
Right.
And if they wanted to put zero weight on one, they could. So the client has a say in how that algorithm works. And then we do all the hard work. So the system tells you what the results are and classifies it by gold, silver, and platinum. Actually, it's gold, silver, and bronze. I keep on saying platinum. Gold, silver, and bronze data. Um, and then I think, the impact goes further from an end user perspective because you can have well governed data, well liked data, But if it hasn't been profiled, you're at risk.
Yeah, yeah. You need good quality data, that's for sure. Right.
The combination of three is definitely a win.
Uh, we mentioned it earlier, and you did cover a little bit, but the Erwin data intelligence solution is helping to manage and govern AI models, LLMS, if I get it right, and ChatGPT, particularly in these model deployments and monitoring and lifecycle management. I wonder if you can explain a little bit about how it actually does that. We know it does it, but for our listeners, I wonder if you might be able to kind of cover that from the uh, usage point of view within the Irwin DI space.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's used more for AI models than LLMs.
Sure.
Um, but I do hear a lot more now in the industry itself about, well, it's a known fact that when data is classified and categorized, LLMs work much better.
Right. Yeah.
So we help in that way from a data perspective. But I am hearing a lot of folks talk about, having driving it all through a single source internally, like a marketplace inside of the organization, so that they know that they're heading the users towards data that is well known, or LLMs that are well known. So I think in the next year or so, we're going to see more from an LLM perspective, but I'll be honest, we're not there yet.
Well, actually, it just leads into the next question that we had outlined is that, are you able to kind of maybe give us a sneak peek or an understanding of what new features or enhancements users can expect in the upcoming release of the Urban Data Marketplace?
Yes. All right. So there's some really fun new things that are coming out. We're going to keep on going with data scoring and add some more elements for end users to classify their data. We also have some clients that have started to monetize the data inside of
Sure.
the supermarket. So we're going to help you do that better as well. Um, Another really great that one thing that I'm excited about is that 7 steps to maturity has made such an impact on clients, getting clients off to a successful start. We're going to start to embed that in the solution itself. So you'll be able to look at an AI model and see what steps it's been through. And you'll be able to certify that model once it has reached all 7 steps. So that one I think is going to provide a lot more clarity on how to implement and how to get the best value out of the entire marketplace. And then, of course, more support for AI governance, more AI inside of the solution, and dare I mention chat boxes. So
Yeah,
stay
well,
tuned.
yeah, stay tuned for that because I think we're all looking for, how the chat boxes are going to really help us. Uh, just, in the last couple of minutes, from a partner perspective, how do you see partners like Sandhill assisting clients in getting their data marketplace up and running?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked this question. I really thought about this a lot. And partners like Sandhill really come into play when I'm going to go back to people, process, and technology. We are very focused on the technology. So the vendor is very focused on ensuring that we get automation where automation needs to be. We could really use help, and we need your help from an experience perspective on helping guide the personas, helping guide the process of the solution itself, and bringing all that great knowledge that you guys have had out there across so many different industries, so many different implementations, and helping the client with those best practices and helping the client figure out the processes and ensure that the process is on track for value, on track to the end goal, and really solid outcomes. So that's where we really could use your help.
Well, so with over 30 years of experience, I'm sure we can help our clients move from process to value. And on behalf of Sant, on behalf of our joint client base, we truly appreciate your time today. We hope to have you back and share more updates and insight about Quest Data Intelligence Solution.
Would love to. Thank you very much for inviting me.
You're welcome. And for our listeners, if you like these type of interviews, hit the like button and continue to our websites, either sandalconsultants.com or erwin.com, Erwin by Quest, for additional fireside chats. Thank you.